Hi, I'm Icy Sedgwick and welcome to my new section on YouTube where I'm going to be posting a new video every Monday on writing tips. There's loads of information online, like more than you could ever probably read in your lifetime, about marketing and publishing, but there's possibly a little bit less about writing. Now, writing's such a personal thing. Everybody has their own ways of doing things and you can always learn stuff by hearing what other people do. So what I want to try and do is pass on to you the benefit of my experience. Now, I've been writing since, I did my first creative writing course in 1999, had my first short story published in 2008, and my first book, The Guns of Retribution, came out in 2011, so I've been doing this a while. Now, what I want to do is, if you're a beginner, I want to shorten your learning curve and give you new things to try, new things to have a go at, all that kind of jazz. If you've been writing a while, maybe it'll give you something new to try. It might be like a little writing exercise for you. And if you've been writing longer than me, then again, maybe it's something that you can have a go at, a little bit like an athlete trying out a new exercise. So, that in mind, this week's video is going to be on personality quirks. Now, one of my favourite characters for quirks, there's quite a lot of famous ones. You've got Phoebe from Friends, for example. I mean, she was quirk central. Luna Lovegood from Harry Potter would be another good example. There's something about each of those characters that makes them a bit more unique from everyone else, and we can learn a lot about their personality by little quirks that they've got. So Marla Singer from Fight Club is another good example. We see her go to a laundrette and take out some clothes and then take them to a second-hand store and sell them. That is so much more economical than Chuck Palahniuk having to actually tell us what she's like as a character. Instead, he can show us. And quirks are one of the ways of doing that. So, what I want you to think about is think about the things that make you you. And I don't mean think about like what you listen to, what music you like, where you go on holiday, all that, because that's not what I mean. What I mean is what really makes you you. For example, I'm really not at all bothered by spiders, but I'm paralysed with fear when I see a slug. Just the idea of them freaks me out. Something like that. I much prefer the smell of freshly baked bread to chocolate, for example. There's going to be something about you that makes you a little bit unusual. So what I want you to do is list them out. List out sort of things that you think, yeah, that's a bit strange, but really speaks to me as a person. For example, I used to work at Costa for my sins, and there was a woman who used to come in pretty regularly, and whenever she left, I would always find a teaspoon under her chair with the so upside down, so the bowl was that sort of shape, and that would be pointing sort of towards where she'd been facing, and the back of the spoon would be pointing to the back of the chair, always underneath the chair. And she would deliberately sit next to a wall so she could actually clag a tea bag to the wall, just like on the wall. Never worked out why. Even if you didn't give her a teaspoon, if you just gave her a stirrer stick, she would still use a teaspoon. I don't know why. She'd just go and find one off someone else's table. So that is a quirk. And what I want you to do when you finish thinking about the ones for you is then think about the people that you know. Maybe you know somebody who won't use plastic cutlery and takes a metal teaspoon everywhere with them. Maybe you know somebody who copies everybody around them but is insistent that they always do things first. Maybe your friends have really interesting nicknames for their children. Whatever it might be, just list them down. Ask people on Facebook, stick up a status like, what would you say is something really unique about you? And then build a bank of them. Just have like a list of them, like in Evernote, whatever you use, I don't know, and just have a list of these quirks. So now, once we've done that, and make sure you've done that bit first, then have a look at, have you got existing characters? Can you see how any of those quirks might demonstrate something about your character? So say you've got a gruff PI and he takes cutlery everywhere with him and he won't use disposable cutlery. That might not have occurred to you before, but you might want to try and show that he's like really private and almost reclusive in a way and doesn't like interacting with other people. And a way of doing that might be he uses his own eating utensils. I don't know, that could be something you could put in there. The quirk can then hint at backstory without you actually having to go into the backstory. You see where I'm going with this? If you're coming up with a new character, don't try and shoehorn quirks in. So I've got a hair in front of my eye. Just for the sake of it. but try and put something in that's actually going to be useful or that is going to show something. So what is it about your character you're trying to show? What kind of quirk can do that? Okay, that's what I'm thinking about. So that is your task. Have a look at your characters and see if you can just put what the quirk might only ever get mentioned once, but it's just enough so that the reader can go, I see where they're going with this. Like a lot of Luna, for example, a lot of her quirks are about weird things that she believes in, but if you lump all those quirks together, it basically just shows that she's open-minded, and that she's willing to trust people. All of those quirks lead up to the same character trait, so we don't need to be told that she's trusting or that she's open-minded, because we can see that she's open-minded. See what I mean? So that is your task for today. If you're not sure, I'm going to put an image after this bit as a photo prompt, so you can have a look at that and see what you can come up with for that particular character. If you found this video helpful, please leave a comment. If you want to see anything specific in a future video, again, leave a comment. And if you want to subscribe below, you will get any of my future videos. I've rattled through that quite quickly because I've tried to keep this relatively short, because we're all busy people, aren't we? But otherwise, have a brilliant week, and I'll see you next Monday for another one of these writing tips. Bye bye.